the types of ABAP development. Next slide, please. So we go to the basics of the SAP GUI. So here is the SAP Easy Access. So this is the standard entry screen displayed after logon. So next slide, please, to see the screen. Ayun. So this is a screenshot. So I cannot provide a live demo of this due to restrictions, but I just created a screenshot for this specific segment. So this is the not the logon screen, but the easy access screen that we see upon logging in the SAP logon system. Here, ganyan yung ano niya, ganyan yung user interface niya. So actually when I was in college, sabi ko para ang hirap i-navigate ng na SAP. And it really is true because you don't use your mouse that often to go to the other window like that. So here at the left side, you can see merong mga parang links here, and these are actually shortcuts. But the main navigation for you to go to the other screens is through transaction codes. And next slide, please. So transaction codes, these are 4-digit shortcut keys to access the requested transaction. So can we go back to the last slide po? Yun. If you can see at the upper left screen, meron dyan parang box na white. So that is where we put the transaction codes, the 4-digit transaction codes. And there are really a lot of transaction codes in SAP. So sobrang need mo siya i-take note talaga for you to not forget about it. So let's go to the next slide. Then next slide, yes. So the most common transaction code that we are using as a SAP ABAP developer is SE38. So upon typing SE38 in the command screen up there, this will open the ABAP editor. So please, next slide. So this is how it looks like when we open SE38 or the ABAP editor. The program name is there. So I just created a test program, ztest_xb. So programs in custom programs in SAP actually start with Z or Y. That is the naming convention. We follow naming conventions. And standard programs, however, start with other letters, so any other letter but Z or Y. And if you want to create a program, you just have to input a program name and then click that create button. But if your program is already existing and you would want to change it, you will have to click that change button right there below. So let's go to the next slide to open that test program. So this is how it looks like. It looks like Notepad++, I think. But ito yung ABAP editor, and this is how it looks like when we change the codes or create code. And simple lang. As you can see, there is a lot of English words there. So talagang madali siyang maintindihan. So if you can look at line 3, this is how we declare variables. So we declare it by using the keyword data. And for multiple entries, we just we use a colon, yung colon there. And we declare the variables in lines 5 and 6. L means local variable. And kapag you use G, it means global variable. And you can see there that I declared the two variables as a string data type. And we also declare constant values. So this is to ensure that we do not hard code. So para this is a performance related point in SAP ABAP development. So we use constants instead of hard coding. And as you can see, we declare constant in 9.9. And to use, I declared a LC, means local constant, LC colon, with type C, which is character. Then how you declare your variables. And in line 12, so the ito pala program na to is just to change the date format from YYYMMDD and the type format from HHMMSS to a different format. So in order to do that, we pass a fixed value for this variable. So ang ibig sabihin ng hard coding is yung nasa line 13 and 14. So that is hard coding for us. You pass a fixed value to the variable. So in this case, we pass February 22, 2022, and the time as 9:24 and 43 seconds. And we can change the format by doing character offsetting to get the year, month, and date from these variables. So one command to do that is the concatenate keyword, wherein we try to offset and get the value for the year, month, and date. So later I'll show you how it really works. So concatenate these variables, these values into back to the variable that we created, which is LDate, and it should be separated by LC colon. So parang English ano lang, sentence. And and that's how we also do the same is done with the time format. And at line 34, we display the final values to the screen by using the write command, LDate and LType. So next slide, please. So there is a very, I think this is really helpful for us developers, the debugger functionality of this SAP ABAP editor. When we type /h in a there in this command screen, it will automatically switch on the debugging, and then we just press this button right here for direct processing. And before that pala, we should put a breakpoint in which saang line of code mo gustong simulan yung debugging mo. So next slide, please. So in this case, this is the ABAP debugger screen. Dito sa left side, it shows your code in display mode. Dito naman at the right side is the ABAP screen stack. Nandyan yung lahat ng program, even the standard programs na dinadaanan ng program mo. So in this case, meron ng tatlong program or screens na dadaanan yung program ko, yung test program ko. And here at the right bottom right portion of the screen, you can see here the variables. So kapag nag-double click ka sa mga variables na ni-click mo, mapapakita na doon yung values ng mga variables na yun. So in this case, yung breakpoint ko is nasa line 13 ng code. Ayun, yung parang red na button at the left. So next slide. Yeah. So I tried to look at the values of LDate and LTime prior to executing line 19. So kung saan nakaturo yung arrow, doon pa lang siya, hindi niya pa yan na-execute. Parang dyan pa lang siya mag-execute sa part na yan. So in this case, lines 13 and 14 ay na-execute na. So they already have the value ayun, yung pinas kong values. And if you can see, since may values na yung L date and L time, I can already see the values when I offset them. So sa baba, makikita nyo yung L underscore date plus 2, tapos naka-parenthesis 2. So that's how you get the offset. And ayun, nakuha ko yung day, then yung pangalawa is yung month, then yung year naman. Then, next slide. Ayan. Then, once we execute line 19, so yung arrow is at line 28 already. So, meaning na execute na yung buong block ng line 19. So, if you can look at the right side of the screen, yung L date mo is nagbago na yung value. So, hindi na siya yung pinas kong value sa initial. And, ayun, nagbago na siya. Meron na siyang separators. Then, next naman, yes, the same happened with the time. So, ayan, you can see the values of the time. Tapos, after executing line 28, nagbago na rin yung value niya. And it's currently at line 35. So, kapag last ng executable line, magsa-stop na yung debugger. So, once I execute that line, next slide. Ayan, so that is the output screen. Ayan na, makikita mo na yung pinas kong values, which is yung date and yung time. Pasensya na kayo, hindi siya naka-hyphen, pero that's just for the sake of an example. Yun. So that's how a simple program works in ABAP development. So next slide, please. We also have different transaction. These are the different transaction codes that we use from day to day. So one is SE11. So this is the ABAP dictionary maintenance. You can see the different standard tables or the custom tables that we created there. Structures, data type, domain. Ayun, so lahat siya dyan. I-create, na-change, and na-display. Next slide. So an example, kapag dun sa last slide ko, kapag nag-enter ka doon ng table na, for example, yung name na VBAC, table name na VBAC. So this is the sales document header data. And this is a standard table. So meaning lahat ng, this is common to all systems. Meron talaga nito SAP, itong VBAC table. So lahat ito yung mga fields niya. Then data type, data element, you can see it there. Then, ayun, that's how you display it through SE11. The next slide, please. Sa SE16N naman, we can try to see the actual values inside those fields in table VBAC. Pwede ka maglagay ng filters dyan, like halimbawa, gusto mo lang makuha yung mga sales document na na-create today. So you'll put in the field or that yung date to day, then makukuha mo na lahat ng sales document numbers. But in this case, I cannot show you that because this is rather confidential na yung laman niya. But that's how you check the values, the actual values of the table through SE16N. The next, please. Ayun. So basically, it's just an overview of what we do every day. So we develop different objects of different complexities. Merong low complexity, merong high complexity. But here is the question: is SAP ABAP really hard? So the next slide will show you the answer. So the answer is no, it isn't. Actually, mas madali din. For me, personally, it's not a difficult language to learn compared to Java, C#, C++. Kasi nga in college, I really had a hard time learning these programming languages. But with ABAP, I actually learned it when I was in the project na. So kapag nasa on the spot ka na talaga, you really have to learn it. And talaga namang natututo. But yeah, it's really not a difficult language because yun nga, high level siya. And here, the difficulty actually lies more in being able to translate a business or user requirement to a technical solution or code. So here in ABAP, we do not just care about the syntax or the code itself, pero we should understand also the business or the user requirement so that we can translate it into a solution that is technical. So yun yung difficulty talaga, yung part lang na yun. But it just like other programming languages, natututunan naman siya over time. And to close this presentation, let me just close this with this quote from Erin Fung, who is the head of product at YouTube. So being a woman on a team of all men means that you are going to have a unique voice, and it's important to embrace that. So I hope that this forum also helped you to gain an insight on how women can be effective in their workplace. And that's all from my end. Thank you so much and good morning.
Thank you so much for sharing, Ms. Celia. There are questions that are posted, so let me read one. A question coming from Kempy. You're familiar with him. He's one of the best IT programmer I've known in Ateneo. So his question is, what's the versioning control you use for SAP ABAP?
We do not use a versioning control. It's SAP ABAP is actually standalone. So kaya niyang mag-generate ng display on its own. Parang yun na nga, igagamitin lang namin yung execute button na yun to see how our code looks like, how the output looks like pala. So we do not use a version controller for that.
There's another question here. How do you start learning SAP ABAP?
There are numerous tutorials online, but I do not actually know about how you can test your code, but I haven't explored yet. But yun nga, the tutorials are online naman. But as to how you test the code, baka naman may open source softwares doon. But as far as kung SAP ABAP itself, I think SAP kasi is binibili talaga siya. It's really acquired by the company or the school for that matter. So yun.
Related to that, so the question is, can they install it in their own device if they want to learn SAP ABAP?
I think hindi. I think hindi po. So yun na, really have to to buy it. But baka lang naman meron naman nag-create ng mga open source online. So you can try to explore it.
So basically it's school, no? When there's a collaboration between SAP and school, and that's where they start learning SAP ABAP.
Yes.
Yung basics niyan. Yeah. There's another question here. Is SAP only applicable to business-related use? I think, yeah. The question is SAP only applicable to business-related use?
As far as I know, yes. Because as I've said, it is an ERP system. So it's for enterprises talaga. And one of which, yung mga large companies talaga yung gumagamit nito dahil yun nga, sa cloud niya na lahat ng mga business modules needed. So to answer, yes, it's for businesses po.
And also, there's a question here, what's the major benefit of using SAP compared to those systems that were developed in-house using languages such as Java, C++, among all others?
Okay, I don't see the point in comparing SAP ABAP kasi exclusive lang po si SAP ABAP for SAP. So but as I knew, meron actually Java sa SAP. SAP also uses Java alongside with ABAP. But as for the advantages, I think wala naman. But I think ABAP will help you to understand business requirements more than rather than technical requirements. So parang in an overview, you will also learn how sales works and how shipping works, ganun yung mga billing, ganun. So if you're really in a technical standpoint, just like me, parang anong gagawin ko dyan para hindi ko naman naiintindihan. But in the long run, you will learn to understand and appreciate it, yung mga ginagawa ng businesses. So yun po.
So seeing no other questions in our chat box, we thank you, Ms. Senya, for sharing. Now, we move to our last sharer for today. Let me call on Ms. Ali.
Let me share my screen now.
Sure po.
So can you see my screen na po, baba?
Yes, we can.
Sige. So yeah, good morning everyone. My name is Ali and I am a project manager. So I have been actually a project manager for almost 4 years now. And I am here to share with you my experience working in the software industry. So before we start, I'd like to share a little bit of my background and show siguro a quick preview of the software that my team and I are building. So my company is NWECA. So I currently work for NWECA. So NWECA is a homegrown software company located at the heart of Bicolana, Naga City. So it was founded in January 2018, and we build, operate, and maintain e-commerce platforms such as Hungryly, Tindahan Tapat, and Community Mart. So NWECA actually started out as a startup company here in Bicol. And my colleagues and I are mostly Bicolanos and Bicolanas. And we actually come from different cities and municipalities in Bicol. So our platforms are now focused on e-commerce. So we build ordering and delivery applications, and I have actually managed 2 out of these 3 e-commerce platforms. So let me show you the products. So the first product that I ever managed was Community Mart. So Community Mart is an app-based e-commerce platform for grocery and shopping delivery. So our mission for Community Mart was to help revive our local economy, especially the local businesses that were deeply affected by the pandemic. So actually, we launched Community Mart noong 2020. Then yung local businesses in the area, we gave them the opportunity to become present kumbaga, in an online platform that will be available for ordering sa public. So here are some of the parang documentations that we have for Community Mart, the pictures. So we have actually partnered with supermarkets and public markets in Bicol. During the peak of the pandemic, we also partnered we also launched in Metro Manila for the public markets. So the next platform, the one I'm currently managing as of the moment, is Hungryly. So Hungryly is an app-based e-commerce platform for food delivery. So our mission is to make our customers day-to-day easier by delivering their needs straight to wherever they may be. So yeah, it's basically a food delivery platform. So we are currently serving Naga City and our nearby municipalities. We also partnered with over 150 partner merchants. So our software development team is currently focused on building these e-commerce applications. And I, as a project manager, help lead the team towards this development. So let's move forward to our main agenda, which is project management. So what exactly is project management? So project management, to give an accurate description, it's the application of knowledge, skills, tools and techniques to meet the project requirements and achieve the desired outcome according to the agreed acceptance criteria. So you actually find project managers in different industries, not only in tech. So may project managers for event planning, marketing, construction. Any normal person might not actually be aware that they are also doing project management as they encounter events in their daily lives. So parang examples for this would be if you are a family member who's planning a reunion, if you're making an itinerary for your vacation, or if you're trying to eat healthy and making daily meal plans, you're basically doing or you're basically building skills that are parang needed for project management. So with that explanation, the skill and role is very important, especially in software development, because we turn plans into actions, and most importantly, we bring the entire team along the journey. So aside from e-commerce applications, I also have the experience in managing projects that NECA has developed for some of our clients, mga inventory management, freight forwarding services, mga schools, and others. So to give a detailed description of what a project manager does, let's now talk about the responsibilities of a PM. So in my case, this is what I do mostly on a day-to-day basis. So planning of product roadmap, which defines product vision, direction, and priorities. So under planning, I meet with key persons para ma-discuss yung features na kailangan namin i-develop. Since we listen to user feedback, and yun. Kasi yung maraming key persons in our company na nag-request ng features. So I arrange them according to priority of need. Then we decide anong feature ba yung pinaka-urgent na i-develop. So we also prioritize by feature that may have significant impacts on the project performance. So examples of this will probably be introducing or developing cashless payment options, which has an impact sa product since it will offer convenience and possible na pwede mag-increase yung orders and customer base for that. So yun, basically planning of product roadmap. And as the PM, I also make sure that the features that we are doing are aligned with our vision and direction as well. So yung within our scope lang talaga to keep us on track sa goal. Another main responsibility is leading and management of development or engineering team. So sabi nga nila, teamwork makes the dream work. So this is very, very important as a manager. Kailangan ma-maintain yung harmonious relationship ng buong team for everyone to work well and to avoid conflict. To also add to that, having a positive workplace culture impacts the team's happiness and satisfaction, and it will affect your performance in a very good way. So yun. So as the project manager, I also make sure that all communication lines are available for the team. Kung may kailangan isabi with each other, dapat open tayo lahat for those types of conversations. If there are necessary meetings that need to be scheduled, we also facilitate that. So next would be the supervision of the execution once the team's plans are in action. So monitoring the progress and making sure that every team member is aligned and ensuring also that everything is on schedule. So with this, kumbaga, big help sa amin is the task boards that the entire team can monitor our progress. So checking up on team members also helps from time to time. So kinakamusta yung mga devs para malaman if may mga blockers na nakaka-cause ng delay on their side to ensure that talagang everything is right on track. So we also monitor the product's user experience feedback for maintenance purposes. So for this one, every time we release an update for the app, our team stands by to wait for feedback from our customer support to check lang if may mga issues na na-encounter ang aming users. So yun, parang standby mode kami, then we quickly patch updates as soon as possible to resolve the issue para hindi na dumami yung maka-experience. So that's actually the overview of what I do as a project manager when we did agile methodology sa software development process namin. So planning, leading, execution, and maintenance. So I take the lead and I make sure that I do all of these things para yung buong team proceed lang with whatever is going. So as mentioned earlier, technology is also a never-ending cycle of learning. So this is actually a good thing since it motivates us to keep up and learn something new. So as project managers, we also explore different techniques that we can implement with our team. So with that, in the next slides, I'll be sharing a framework which I'm currently adapting with my team. So it's actually the Scrum framework. So I'm sure that most are familiar naman with Scrum since it's been like discussed over college for some subjects. So Scrum actually is an agile project methodology. So it's a lightweight framework that helps people, teams, and organizations generate value through adaptive solutions for complex problems. So it's a very known framework, and a lot of software development teams all over the world actually use this. So it's popular since it's known to produce productivity among the team with frequent iterations and continuous feedback. So it helps make sure that the delivered end product suits the end user's needs.